It's a sport of high numbers, high speeds in the hundreds of miles per hour, revolutions per minute by the many thousand, salaries by the millions, paid or unpaid. In this sport of high numbers, temperatures soar too. And on the scorched land at day's end, the tropical storm falls. Mercury rising, and in its red zone, rubber melts. In the furnace, tempers flare, even among teammates. But in the delirium of heat, in the midst of all the falling out, a reconnection made, calling in on old friends. Drop in if you're passing by. High numbers, high temperatures, but this was the season of the smallest unit, the slimmest of single digits, and the coolest head. The number is in the title. In Formula One, the number one is the one.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Is that considered a beehive?
I think you should behave.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
For someone who's deaf, you hear a lot.
I'm very keen not to listen to you.
Although it's been said
Very compelling.
many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
So fellas, cast your mind back to January at the start of this year. What were your expectations going into this season?
Well, when you consider we came off the back of 3 dominant years from Red Bull Racing, McLaren had underlying the fastest car last year, but they just had reliability issues, they'd lost Lewis Hamilton, and they came with this very different car. And, well, we were thinking, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the big step that's going to make them world champions.
There's a nice feeling with the car. Towards the end of the day, we did our quickest lap, and we did it on a tyre that wouldn't normally work in cold temperatures.
His lap was incredible. I mean, on the hard tires for the first day, on the dirty track and everything, it was a quick lap time.
The first day of the test in Jerez, Jenson obviously was quickest, and then boom, we started to find out all sorts of things about the car that they were running there.
Well, basically, it was upside down, certain bits of the rear suspension. So, yeah, it was different, but obviously you could not race like that. The problem was we didn't really get a good understanding for how quick the car was because we kept having issues with the car. So we didn't really find out until we got to the third test and saw the pace of like the Mercedes and the Red Bull, and it was like, wow, we're 2 seconds off the pace.
A few months ago we had the fastest car, we finished last year so strongly. So there's a lot of opinion, should we go back to last year's car? We didn't. Whether that was the right or wrong decision, I don't know now.
We thought, okay, we will do a big update. We were expecting something like 1.5 to 2 seconds update. And when we put all the package together, we found half a tenth. So from that point onwards, we realized how difficult it was going to be.
So the first race really showed the true colours of McLaren, didn't it? Because we saw Button qualifying 10th, Perez 15th, and they got the likes of, well, even Force India were ahead of them.
When you focus on electronics, marketing, road cars, catering companies, you know, if you're a management structure and you're having to try and give 100% to any of those businesses, you can. Of course you can. You have to delegate to others. And I just wonder whether the McLaren machine, in its quest for share price, has become too big and not focused enough.
The road car project is a big distraction. And you either have to just ask yourself, do I want to be a world championship winning constructor race team, or do I want to build the best road cars in the world? That's the simple question.
Who was out-qualified Alonso for the third consecutive time.
No one really has a clue what's going to happen in terms of tyre wear.
Sebastian Vettel, the three.
See what we can do.
Many answers to be found.
Well, it's a normal race weekend, so we do the normal things.
Lewis Hamilton, great debut so far for Mercedes. 2013 season, around the 3.3 mile, 5.3 kilometre Albert Park circuit. We are ready to go racing in 2013. Lights out, away we go, and into the lead is Vettel. And Kimi Räikkönen going around the outside of Hamilton. They almost touch.
Clearly, you could see that he has not lost any speed over the winter, and good to see him, back in full speed.
The McLaren not only seems to be slow in the corners, it looks slow in a straight line.
Räikkönen in, he is definitely making this a two-stop race. Eric Pouliot is very happy about that.
I have to be honest, we are not super competitive, but we had a good tyre wear and a good tyre drag, and we could obviously rely on this nice characteristic from our car to have one pit stop less.
Kimi Räikkönen wins the Australian Grand Prix. Well done, Anna. Yeah.
The DNA of that team is a World Championship team. That's where Fernando Alonso won his 2 titles. So no big surprise, you stick a quality driver like Räikkönen in there. He won Abu Dhabi the year before. Come to Melbourne, I think it was a wake-up call for a number of teams. Just what a strong team and a quality team they were.
So it was the perfect start for the Finn, and then we went to Malaysia.
Sebastian Vettel tries to get off the line. Alonso trying to get second. Alonso's going to try and go around the outside into turn 1, but bravely, but he's sensible. He doesn't charge too much. Alonso slides.
It looked like Alonso's got damage to the front wing of his car. Broken front wing. You can see the sparking.
He's going to have to come back into the pits at the end of this first lap.
He's not. He's staying out there. He's trying to see if he can stay until the window when they go to slick tyres.
We all saw the front wing hanging off the car, but the team didn't tell him, they didn't call him in.
Are you telling me he can't feel that the front wing is hanging off the car? I mean, for heaven's sake, who's going to take responsibility here? The driver has to know that there's fundamentally something completely wrong with this car.
So side by side, Webber trying to go past Alonso. Oh, the front wing's come off Alonso. He's got no steering. Thankfully, he doesn't hit another car. That could have been very frightening indeed. That was a risk that the team and he took, and the risk has not paid off.
You know, maybe that shows us something a little bit about the personality of Fernando, that he's so focused and so intense that he actually believed he could drive around the problem.
Here comes Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton in from second. This could work really well for Mercedes. They've timed it well. Oh, he went in the wrong pit. Hamilton went into the wrong pit.
Well, it was going to happen at one stage during the year, wasn't it? I still today sometimes, I think even in the last race I nearly pulled into McLaren. Next year it shouldn't be a problem because the pit garage will be closer for us. So.
Okay, Lewis, we need maximum fuel saving for this last part of the race, please.
There's Lewis Hamilton running in third place. His teammate Nico Rosberg is fourth. Rosberg getting past Hamilton. Hamilton trying to get back past Rosberg. Rosberg was ahead, but Hamilton has got back past him.
Sometimes I wish that I'd have just let him pass because it would have got rid of all that.
I can go so much faster. Just let me drive past.
Negative, Nico.
It's never a decision I like making. Both were in difficulties with fuel consumption, although one more than the other, and that was a strong factor in the decision.
Turn to speed up a bit, this is too slow.
Nico, please drop back, leave a gap. We have to look after the cars. There's a massive gap behind and there's nothing to gain in front. I want to bring these cars home, please.
How frustrating was it to play second fiddle to Lewis?
Yeah, it was frustrating, definitely. Yes, it's not playing second fiddle. It was just not having the right to overtake with where we were.
I was very pleased that the drivers supported the decisions that were made, even though they may not necessarily agree with them.
Mark is too slow, get him out of the way. He's too slow.
Fortunately, they had a controversial and kind of took the spike off our one.
Mark Webber is into the pits. So where's Vettel? There he is. And Webber should be out ahead. It's going to be relatively close. Vettel side by side with his teammate Mark Webber. As they come down the first corner, Webber slides. Vettel will get a better exit out of the corner, but he's on the dirty part of the track here.
Turn 4, he'll be looking for it. Mark will have to go defensive as they run through 3.
Webber just holds his position.
Sebastian, multi-map 2-1, multi-map 2-1.
That message we now know was an instruction that car number 2 was meant to finish in front of car number 1. Now, for whatever reason, Sebastian didn't feel that that was the finishing order that he was going to accept.
Battle for the lead. Vettel now coming back at Mark Webber. Still the two teammates side by side. No way round the outside there.
This is silly, sir. Come on.
Was more said over the radio than was actually broadcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was he giving anything back to you from the car?
No. No, only purple sectors.
I didn't obey the team order. It wasn't the right thing to do, in my point of view.
Oh, side by side, the two Red Bulls. Vettel's on the inside, and he's gone past. Webber's on the outside. They touch. Vettel has forced it out. Webber's back down the inside. Wow, what racing this is!
Careful, Sebastian, careful.
It actually produced some spectacular racing, some spectacular wheel-to-wheel racing. It was just extremely uncomfortable to witness.
Still side by side, look at this. I don't think he can go round the outside. Can he? Yes, he can. He's gone round him. Sebastian Vettel takes the lead.
Okay, Mark, he was told. Good job, Sebastian, good job. Looked like you wanted it bad enough. Still, there'll be some explaining to do.
Okay, thank you, Nico. Excellent drive, well done.
Remember this one.
I just feel that I was a massive team player that day, you know? And if I would have been a bit, you know, thought a bit more about myself, then it could have gone another way, you know?
40-21, sir. Yeah, multi-21.
After this last stop, obviously the team told me that the race was over, and we turned the engines down, and now we go to the end. In the end, Seb made his own decisions today, and we'll have protection as usual, and that's the way it goes.
Sebastian, when Mark was leading, the team had asked you to hold position in second, is that right?
That's correct, but I didn't mean to ignore the call. Otherwise, you know, why would I take so much risk to pass him?
So why did you?
Because I messed up. I mean, I would love to come up with a very nice excuse or a very nice story right now, but I can't.
Are you happy you've won?
No, I'm not. I did a mistake. If I could undo it, I would, but I can't.
It's a very serious breach, in my opinion, of a team order. And for me, it was a sackable offence. I find it was just appalling. And I'm still coming.
Number one driver. You can't sack the guy who's won 3 world championships.
Look, the facts are
You're talking
that
crazy
you have
now.
to realise who's running the team. Is it the team running the team, or is Sebastian Vettel?
Are you confident that you will be allowed to challenge to win a world championship whilst you stay at Red Bull?
Yeah, this was something that's in my mind in the last part of the Grand Prix, and it's a completely fair question, Lee, that you asked it. But, let's see how 3 weeks to the next race, thankfully, and we'll see what happens.
Were you genuinely surprised with the way he dealt with Malaysia, what he did in Malaysia?
No. I think his initial reaction was probably not far from the money. But 2 weeks later, yes.
Had I understood the message, I would have thought about it and probably had done the same thing, because Mark doesn't deserve that.
He'd obviously thought and reflected, you know, long and hard, and he came to me in China very upset in that he wanted to get it off his chest. And I encouraged him. I said, sit down with Mark, just the two of you, have it out. So I put the two of them in my office, and Sebastian came out and said, well, I feel much better. Mark came out and said, I'm going to thump him. Where is he? I'm going to thump him. So it obviously didn't address the issue.
China, we had a chat there and the chat didn't go that well. So yeah, that was probably the lowest point of the relationship.
I wouldn't be surprised if his decision to retire was made very soon after that.
Bottom line is that I was racing, I was faster, I passed him, I won.
Fernando Alonso wins in China for Ferrari. But what's going to happen here in the battle for third place? Hamilton locks up. He locks up, but he's still there. He's still in front of Sebastian Vettel. Raikkonen second, Hamilton's third. Vettel is fourth.
Fenomenale, fenomenale. Grande weekend.
So 3 races in, and Formula One is headline news as we headed to Bahrain.
The Bahrain Grand Prix is embroiled in fresh controversy. This weekend's race will go ahead.
Despite clashes between police and protesters,
it was condemned by many as a propaganda tool for the kingdom's rulers.
They say the race shouldn't be staged in Bahrain because of the poor record on human rights.
I keep asking people what human rights are, but I don't know what they are.
We've got to listen to what they say, and we trust in the FIA. We trust that they will make the right decision, and here we are racing at Bahrain.
Checo had arrived, been a little bit in awe of being in a big team. First few races wasn't the exuberant driver that we'd seen previously, and we wanted him to be, so in truth we'd encouraged him to be just that.
Battle there between the two McLarens. Perez coming out and saying, OK, Jensen, you know, I've had a bit of a quiet start to my Grand Prix career with McLaren, but I want some of this now.
The guy you have to work with to develop, especially in a car that's not working. You know, if anyone he didn't need to upset at that time was Jensen.
Look at this, Perez, Jensen, Button not far behind. Look at Button, oh my goodness, that could have been frightening.
Oh, it just felt like I was racing in GP2, and it's been a long time since I raced in the junior Formula. It felt like we're all out to prove something, and it just felt different to the people that I'd always had as a teammate. You know, Lewis, Rubens, you know, you race hard, wheel to wheel, but there's no jerky movements. You know, it's the way it is. We understand the dangers of the sport.
Perez goes for it down the inside of his teammate. Button is staying really around the outside. Don't hit each other, boys.
They both went too far. You know, when you start hitting each other, I think they physically made contact several times. I think that was too far.
Do they need to be fighting this hard? I guess they're racing for position, and it's fair enough, but it's putting them both in a little bit of danger here.
And then contact.
Oh, Perez runs into the back of Button.
Golden rule, don't hit your teammate.
He just hit me up the back. Calm him down.
Did he overstep the mark, do you think? Or was
I think he
just
did.
keen?
He not only went wheel to wheel with his teammate and upset him, he had done so with Hamilton the race before. He'd upset Alonso. You know, those guys are quality drivers. They don't complain just for the sake of it. They say something when they feel some young pup is not respecting the wheel-to-wheel action.
The impression I've been given there by what you've said is that Perez was out of his depth, shouldn't have been doing what he was doing, and he has no right to be there in the first place. Well, I can't accept that, because Perez is his own man, and he has to establish his own career.
Here comes Perez again.
Maybe across him, you're the straight wall banging. Guys, come on, surely.
Oh, can they get round safely? Perez and Button, but Perez on the outside.
Drives them off the circuit.
I fight them as hard as they fight to me.
So you don't worry about banging wheels with your teammate?
I think it was a bit too much, definitely.
The racer in me, like the team principal in me, had to say to both of them that was a step too far, because how we didn't have one or even both the cars out during that particular race, it was just remarkable luck.
Sebastian Vettel wins in Bahrain, the first repeat winner of 2013.
Yes!
It was special, and always when I'm in Spain I feel a lot of emotions, a lot of support from the people. And in that moment I had the opportunity to give 5 to some of the guys that were on the grandstand.
Remarkably, over 30 years have passed since a dry Spanish Grand Prix was won from anywhere other than the front row. Fernando Alonso is only 5th on the grid. The Mercedes up front. The big question is, are they going to be able to stay there? Lights out, away we go, and Rosberg and Hamilton pretty even. Alonso goes to the outside of Sebastian Vettel. Alonso charging down as Rosberg leads, and Vettel goes round the outside of Hamilton, and Alonso trying to get that 4th place from Kimi Raikkonen. Round the outside goes Alonso, and now he's trying to get Hamilton as well. Oh, that's amazing from Fernando Alonso, and he's got in front. He's into 3rd position.
The whole year has been dominated by poor qualifyings and good first laps to recover the lost on Saturdays, and Barcelona was one of the best first laps.
The thing that really sets him apart from your average racing driver is that it's a long run from the start-finish line down to the first corner. They have 80 horsepower available of KERS once they get into above 100 kilometres an hour. Traditionally, you'd use pretty much all that in the run down to the first corner. He didn't. He had watched the GP2 race and realised that some guys were overtaking into turn 3. He kept some KERS, hit the boost button,
fantastic,
round the outside.
Brilliant stuff there from Fernando Alonso.
Both of the leaders are into the pits. Where are they versus Alonso? Alonso's on the outside. The Ferrari's going to split the pair of them. He's gained the place from Sebastian Vettel.
Here comes Alonso.
He's on the attack. The Spaniard's going for the lead in the Spanish Grand Prix, and he's ahead. Fernando Alonso gets past the Mercedes. Fernando Alonso wins the Spanish Grand Prix, his home event.
Grazie, grazie. Incredibile.
I remember the lap after the race, after the checkered flag, when I took the flag, and it was a special weekend, and obviously probably the highest point of this year for me.
A quick word on Fernando's performance at home, Stefano?
Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding.
At that stage of the season, of course, we were talking a lot about the tyres. And if you look at what happened in qualifying, Mercedes front row locked out, and then they finished 6th and 12th. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that was really, really a tough period because the emotional highs from the Saturday pole positions, yeah, and then there's always, when I do get a pole, there's always a little bit of a hope or belief that maybe I can actually make it happen also in the race, and then just get eaten up like that in a race. And just dropping off the cliff, more or less. That was really quite tough. Really, not nice.
The whole tyre issue is confusing for the public, and it's not good for Formula One. We get so accustomed to watching man and machine in perfect harmony on a qualifying lap, and then being able to race that to the checkered flag, that it's confusing when suddenly you see these cars go from pole and backing into cars that can make their tyres fast.
We were shell-shocked after that. It was so bad. We were shell-shocked, and I think that race in particular caused us really to do a lot of soul searching on what we had to do to try and improve the tyre situation.
The most famous venue on the F1 calendar, Monaco, can tell many stories of success and heartbreak. Lewis Hamilton, he goes fastest in the Mercedes. Is that going to be enough? Rosberg's gone even faster. It is pole position once again for Nico Rosberg. His hat-trick of pole positions. Side by side into the first corner. Rosberg gets ahead. Hamilton slots into 2nd place.
It was carbon-tastic, wasn't it? There was stuff all over the place.
Oh, and crashes Massa. Massa is out. Oh!
And this looks like a Sunday drive.
Okay, Nico, so just starting to ramp the pace up. Not immediate, but over the next few laps.
It all sounds very controlled at the moment, doesn't it?
It sounds wrong. This is Formula One. They should be gunning it every lap.
When you win, there's always going to be criticisms. You just have to listen to them, respect them, yeah, but move on and do my own thing.
I think what was underestimated at Monaco was Nico's ability to create the gaps and create the space when he needed to.
Nico Rosberg wins in Monaco. He has repeated the performance of his father here 30 years ago.
Very well done, Nico. I couldn't imagine you driving any better than today.
Jackie Stewart always used to say, winning a race is about winning it in the slowest possible time. That's what they did.
And then, of course, all kinds of controversy break out when it's discovered that there's been a tyre test and it's been done by Mercedes and Pirelli, but with Mercedes drivers.
And their car, the current car, it was so blatant, it was ridiculous.
It's a bit weird if the regulations obviously don't allow you to test and one team goes testing. What's the solution now? Does everybody have a go for 3 days? Or I don't think they won today because of last week. I want to get that straight, but surely it helps.
Once it came out, I'm surprised Mercedes didn't pay a bigger penalty, and they got away, in my opinion, scot-free in the FIA appeal afterwards.
Sebastian Vettel comes out of the final chicane in Canada. He has taken victory for Red Bull.
In Canada, a very convincing win for Vettel.
I can't help but think it was marred this year with a very sad occasion. Mark Robinson, who we underestimate the value of marshals. He sadly lost his life when he was run over by a truck at the circuit, and my thoughts obviously were with him at that time.
And on to one of the gems of the calendar, of course, Silverstone. And David, you did everything you could to get Lewis Hamilton flying.
Well, we have liftoff. Oh, just had a bit of a moment there. Woohoo! Holy crap! I've never heard you so excited. That's what I was talking about.
Hamilton is going faster than anybody else.
Yeah! If you can see me smiling right now.
He's done it! Lewis Hamilton, look at the lap time! Pole position in the Silver Arrow.
Storming job there, Lewis. Storming job.
Lights out, away we go, and certainly a great start for Lewis Hamilton, the perfect getaway needed.
Of course, I would have loved to have won that pole position I had, and the pace I had. It was just controlling it from there, and I was pulling away from a Red Bull. It's very rare you see that.
Oh, what a tire gone, and it's Lewis Hamilton! Hamilton, out of the chance for winning this race. The crowd watching can't believe it.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it was still a good race. In actual fact, I like those races more than leading. I like those races where you have to overtake and come through the field. That's what I was always good at when I was in karting, and that was really where I made my name.
And they send him on his way once again. Oh, it's got Massa! Massa's gone off! What is the cause of that? It's a puncture. Tyre gone off! Right in front of Raikkonen and Grosjean! This is shocking.
People have been having punctures. Watch out for exit curbs, high-speed corners.
We do not expect to see this in Grand Prix racing. Look at this, Hamilton with Gutierrez, and he makes it look very easy.
That's anything but easy. Hamilton goes for it.
Fantastic move from Lewis Hamilton.
Is it a problem? Problem for Vettel, the gears.
He's in trouble, and Rosberg takes the lead of the British Grand Prix.
Lost drive, lost the gearbox.
Ricciardo has the inside line, but Alonso's got more grip. And look at Hamilton. Hamilton's going to take advantage at the same time.
The tyre is gone. Perez.
Hamilton down the inside of Sutil. No chance for Sutil. Hamilton takes fourth place, coming from an exploded tyre. This is a tremendous drive.
I came all the way from being gone to dead last, coming back up to fourth.
Nico Rosberg has done it! Rosberg wins the British Grand Prix!
Yes! Great job, Nico. Excellent job. Well done, mate. Woo! Yeah!
Wow, that's crazy stuff. That's crazy stuff.
I knew exactly all of the problems that were going on, and I was doing a lot of things to avoid curbs and drive slowly in certain corners where the most problems were happening. So I was really trying to adapt and make the most of it, and it worked out.
The things that I had to say about the tyres I had to keep in. I was not happy. You know, it's just unacceptable. It's only until someone gets hurt that someone's going to do something about it.
If a tyre explosion or a tyre delamination damages your race, it's annoying. But the bigger thing is safety, and if someone gets hit in the head by a tyre, that could be game over.
So Pirelli had to make changes in under a week. They had to provide new tyres, and they did it.
You know, Formula One has a habit of being able to react super quick, and that's exactly what they did.
It's something we talked about since the first race, that we felt the tyres were too marginal, and I think it was only when they went back to the previous year's compounds that, you know, things started to become a bit more sensible. Still marginal, but more sensible.
Kimi Raikkonen is moving up through the field here. Vettel's in, so it's the race leader who is in, and interestingly, Raikkonen has stayed out.
We didn't have the quickest car that day. The Lotus was incredibly quick. Kimi was incredibly quick.
That'd be a brilliant piece of race driving if he's able to do the 35 laps on those tyres.
Oh, and Kimi's come in. Kimi's come in. He's not going to make it to the end.
Why they did that last pit stop in the end, I still to this day don't really know, because I think he would have got to the end.
Raikkonen on the soft tyre. Look, he's in the shot. He's not that far behind them. There is a real chance here for Kimi Raikkonen.
Very fast now on these tyres.
And Kimi Raikkonen goes past his teammate. Sebastian Vettel has driven a brilliant race here. Kimi Raikkonen, can he do anything? Up to the last corner. I don't think it's likely.
That was one of his best races of the year, because he defended superbly and managed the race to win what was one of the most demanding races in his career.
Sebastian Vettel wins in Germany. The first time he's won his home Grand Prix.
Yeah! That was a tough one.
To win the German Grand Prix for the first time, I've been trying very hard the last couple of years. I simply enjoyed a very, very slow in-lap. You know, the fact that people stood up, were cheering, and I just tried to take everything in. A great relief and a great emotion when I crossed the line and stood on the podium at home.
They gave me a run for the money.
I feel like this is my home now. This is my team, mine and Nico's team. But obviously when I came, it was his team. But I really feel over the year they've embraced me.
Was it difficult seeing your teammate winning races?
I wouldn't say it was easy. Naturally, you want to be ahead the whole time. And you have to look at things. He had been here for 3 years. He didn't have to change anything at the beginning of the year. When I was at McLaren and they brought Jensen in, to make Jensen feel comfortable, they shuffled around my engineers. They took my championship winning engineers away and gave Jensen one of them and gave me new people, which I didn't like. And here we didn't have that. You know, Nico kept his engineers, and I was working with Michael's engineers. So they were learning about me the whole way. And so for us to do as well as we have done in our first year, I think it's been great.
Lights out, away we go, and Lewis Hamilton gets away brilliantly. Hamilton is flying here. Where does this bring him out? It brings him out with Jensen Button, interestingly.
Here's Hamilton coming now, the pass on Button.
So Hamilton stays in front of Vettel. It was a good stop. Where's Button going to be? Vettel has to tuck in behind him as they come through.
Vettel seeing a whole lot of McLaren up close. It's not a pretty sight for him this afternoon.
No, he wants to get past Jensen Button as quickly as possible.
This is having a huge effect on the outcome of Vettel's race this afternoon. Jensen Button doing exactly what he should do. Vettel having a go.
He's definitely having a little look up the inside, and he's through. And finally he gets past Jensen Button.
Jensen helped by holding up the Red Bull. Otherwise it would have been a different result. But I did everything I had to do.
There's Webber.
It's going to be close. Hamilton versus Webber. Webber just around the outside. He's down the inside. Webber trying to shut the door. Oh, and Webber ends up running very wide as a result, and Hamilton is through. Hamilton wins in Hungary and takes his first win with Mercedes. Well done to Hamilton, who dominated proceedings here today.
So Lewis Hamilton made that move to Mercedes this year. What do you make of this season?
Very positive. I think Lewis Hamilton was an inspired decision. I think he has created a very good pitch for himself to be able to mount a real charge on the championship in years to come.
After Hungary, I definitely thought there might be the smallest window, like a couple of % chance that we could actually close the gap to them. But then when we got back after the break, they had taken a huge step and there was nothing we could do about it.
Lights out, away we go, and Lewis Hamilton makes a very good getaway from pole position. Sebastian Vettel slots in behind.
Well, brave stuff from the start, no contact around the first corner.
Look at Vettel up front, Vettel's taken the lead. Vettel has got past Hamilton.
It's like flying a propeller plane against a jet plane. That's what it's like, because they have so much downforce.
And Vettel wins in Belgium, and he continues to build that championship advantage.
Thank you, the car was absolutely fantastic. Nice one, yes!
For sure we made a few little tweaks to the car, but nothing radical. We had a tidy up of a few areas, and I think Sebastian just selected another gear, because from that point onwards, he was in unbelievable form.
Looking like a walk in the park for Sebastian Vettel out front.
Coming through to win the Italian Grand Prix, it's Sebastian Vettel.
Yes!
Whatever he had to eat during his summer break, or whatever he did, he came back a different person because he was supreme. And he never really looked back at all.
Vettel gets off the line well. No, Rosberg's got in front. Rosberg takes the lead, but he runs wide. Vettel gets him back through turn 2. Look at how he's opening that lead up already, David. Vettel is flying.
What we saw there was man and machine in perfect harmony.
Yes! Yes, boys! Yes! That's what I call it, control. Yes, I'm loving it!
Sebastian, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? But it's always this man that seems to be chasing you up here on the podium with you. Please don't do that. That's not correct.
They're on a tour, they go around with a bus.
He's a young man, like anybody. When you walked out onto the podium and you've driven your heart out and you hear people deriding that, it's tough for anybody to take.
Do you think the incident in Malaysia was the catalyst for the booing that Seb sort of seemed to follow Seb around the world thereafter?
For sure, 100%. He'd been the villain, he'd taken a win away from Mark Webber. That, together with being a serial winner.
Sebastian Vettel wins in Korea again!
Thank you! Yes!
You should admire success, not be jealous of it.
Suzuka is his circuit.
He knew he would be able to turn it around.
You are going against factual evidence if you think that he's not worthy of being a champion, and that team has not done a fantastic job.
Sebastian Vettel is the 2013 world champion.
Of course, when he expressed his emotion, everything changed, everything turned around. And the reaction he got in India was something like I've never seen before.
You did it! Yes! Yes!
Here in India, he is surely a superhero.
You've done it in style. Fantastic, you're a 4-time world champion. You joined the greats. Well done.
The boy wonder of 2010 has become the man for 4 seasons. Unbelievable what he has achieved, and he has joined such an incredibly select group.
This is the incomparable Fangio, one of the greatest drivers the world has ever known.
Alain Prost, a full, brilliant championship for the Frenchman.
I grew up hearing about Fangio, and I thought no one will ever do that. But Michael Schumacher's done it today. This is history.
For all the kids, for all of us, we looked up to him. He was our hero.
Now you're in a position where kids will be looking up to you.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird because, I'm still a kid somehow, and at least I feel like it.
I believe that he is in the realm of greatness. He's right up there with all of the greats of this world of Formula One.
When Red Bull dominate one year, is okay. They have great aerodynamics and they have a great team. When it's happening constantly every year, there are more frustration, and the atmosphere in all the other teams are getting a little bit worse.
Arguably still in love with the idea of winning a title with Ferrari, but perhaps not still in love with Ferrari.
Fernando, are you getting frustrated with Ferrari? We understand that your manager's been speaking to Red Bull. Are you looking to leave Ferrari and go to Red Bull?
No, I'm concentrating the championship. These are rumors.
It's been very clear he's disenchanted.
Has your manager been to speak to Red Bull?
I don't think so.
Not that you know of?
No, not that I know.
I think the way he spoke on the team radio, there's not a person who believes that was genuine.
Quindi c'è da lasciarlo passare, veramente siete dei scemi, eh? Mamma mia, ragazzi.
Well, I think what confirms that is the fact that De Montezemolo, the president of Ferrari, came out afterwards and very publicly gave him a little slap back into his place and said that no one is bigger than the team. I believe he'll win a title with Ferrari. Whether he'll end up winning as many titles as Sebastian Vettel, well, you know, who knows?
And of course, Massa will no longer be with Ferrari at the end of the season. Kimi has signed for Ferrari.
Oh, they almost touched, just manages to find some space. Fabulous move from Kimi Raikkonen. He's lining up Fernando Alonso for the pass, and he's going to go past his future teammate. Raikkonen down the inside.
Abu Dhabi, and the last time we saw Kimi.
It's like as if he didn't want to be there.
Raikkonen's out! Raikkonen's out!
We were not privy to the financial situation at that moment, and we were saying, why is this happening? Why would he leave Lotus? Why would he go there? But the reality was, as it's now been played out, he wasn't paid.
He dealt as nicely as I could have dreamed, to be honest. He also did his job until very late in the season.
It's just bad business. You cannot not pay your staff.
Of course it has an effect on your mind. That had a huge effect on Kimi's performance.
And Sebastian Vettel takes his 11th win of the season.
Brilliant, brilliant job. Well done.
So we hop across the pond to Austin, Texas, and everyone gets a bit of a surprise. Mostly Sergio Perez that is out at the end of the season.
Certainly cut me, have to say. Well done, McLaren. I think they got me back for the previous year with Hamilton because I was stumbled. I have to say I was very surprised. I thought he had done enough just to keep his seat.
No, I think he's done a good job, but you've got to look forward. I think, you know, in simple terms, last year Jenson was out-qualified by his teammate by, on average, 0.3 of a second, out-raced on an average of 0.17 of a second. And so Jenson is a fantastic member of this team, but if you're aspiring to be a champion in the future, then you've got to go out and beat Jenson.
When I joined McLaren, the car was extremely difficult, and every Friday, since the start of the season till a couple of races ago, we were always changing everything. Every Friday was a learning experience for us, so for sure that was going to help Jenson with his experience with the team.
It's a cutthroat business, and you've got to come in and do a great job. And then if you do, you've got a great career in front of you. But if not, you're out. So.
Perez didn't deliver, and I'm not surprised. And also, if you look at the history of McLaren, whenever they have a bad season, they drop a driver. They've done it time and time again. So it's part and parcel of how they react. Apparently, it was the engineers had a vote, and they all voted that Magnussen, who they knew well from testing, was going to be more potential and more exciting than keeping Perez.
Away we go, the two Red Bulls going for it. Vettel with a slightly better start. Watch for Grosjean behind as they come down the hill. Grosjean's got into second place, and Webber lost out big time.
Austin is the best Grand Prix we have been doing so far. The Red Bull was so quick behind me, Mark was so quick behind me, always chasing me.
Webber closing the gap. Is he going to make a lunge for it? No, he has a think. But he's just trying to unsettle Grosjean.
To run most of the race under the pressure of a Red Bull car, and didn't do any mistakes at all.
2 races ago, he would have probably found a way to go. But as we work, we get better and better, then He just couldn't.
Sebastian Vettel to take his first ever win in the USA. And Grosjean holds on for his best result of the year in second.
And actually, I think he's got the praise of a couple of drivers after this race, including Mark.
Unfortunately, he's getting quite experienced and he's learning some tricks.
We should probably start with the race, but I would like to start with the hat.
I'm not very good with the lasso right now, but I can train a little bit to come back next year. We catch one bull, next year hopefully we catch two.
It's been a whole 180, because if you go back to Monaco, he crashed that car 4 times over the weekend, and I think it's fair to say you both thought he was out.
I think I was dancing quicker than the music.
He was frustrated to not delivering when Kimi was.
I just wanted to go too quick. If I was going back there today, it would be fairly different.
No one has ever doubted he's got outright speed. He's won pretty much every championship he's raced in apart from Formula One. But what he didn't have previously, and I think it's absolutely fair criticism, is consistency. But as he's matured, he's starting to deliver that.
The second half of the season for Paul di Resta wasn't good, was it? I mean, he got most of his points up until Silverstone, and in career was the 5th time in a row that he hadn't finished the race.
Oh, and off has gone Paul di Resta. Oh no! And this is another retirement for Paul di Resta.
It was a difficult period to go through. You know, we had one race, we had an incident with Maldonado. I made a mistake at the Monza Grand Prix. Singapore was going to be one of the, I think, the best drives of my career, and took 6 laps to go. And we experienced something we've never experienced before in terms of the wake of a car in front, and unfortunately I went off in which was going to be a 6th position, which, if you look at my points tally, would be crucial.
A driver wants to have a strong end to his season, because when people are signing drivers and looking at what the options are, you want to be there saying, look, here I am outperforming the car.
I think he suffered badly because the tyre change. That car, the Force India, was not anywhere close to how good it was at the beginning of the season.
Leaving Brazil, there's going to be some emotions, clearly. You know, I've put a lot into this, a long time in Formula One and a long time to get there. Last day at the office in Formula One. Got to try and treat it like another race. I think definitely different emotions this morning. I think it starts to hit a little bit that, yeah, it's the last time you'll be doing this as an F1 driver, but that's fine, that's good. And what I want, it's basically it's not a sad moment, it's a proud moment. It's just emotions that you have to accept, that you've got to be able to let go.
Mark, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. We're gonna miss you, man.
You know it's the right time to stop, but you still can't accept that it is. You still want to do it, but you're still on that slippery slope then, so what's the point of continuing at that level? You can't do that.
Thank you.
Mark, welcome to Interlagos, final day in school. How do you feel?
Yeah, good. Very good. Yeah, no, ready to go and see how we go.
Is it possible to win?
Of course.
For sure we're going to miss him. He's been a massive part of this team for 7 years.
Hey, big man.
He could have gone in Formula One for another couple of years. Unfortunately, yeah, he fell out of love with the sport.
Not easy getting the car the last time.
He's a tough competitor. He's a grisly, bad-tempered competitor sometimes, but he pushed.
Lights out, away we go. Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg go together. Rosberg leads, Vettel into second. Then it's Hamilton. Alonso's in 4th place. Massa making up some ground as well, but he just drops in behind Mark Webber. Here comes Vettel, no doubt about it. He's on the charge. No DRS on the opening lap, but Vettel doesn't care. He blasts past Nico Rosberg. Webber's got a bit of a chance here. Hamilton runs wide. Oh, he gives him just enough space. I'm not sure he can do it, or can he? He's done it. He's into 4th.
Brave pass, no sign of any lack of commitment from Mark Webber on his last Grand Prix.
Mark Webber now attacking Nico Rosberg. Round the outside he goes, and Webber trying to take the 3rd place. I think he's done it, yes. Alonso and Webber might get a decent run here. Mark Webber alongside and takes the place. He takes the place from the Ferrari, and Webber goes up into second position. Sebastian Vettel wins in Brazil, and he equals one of the oldest records in Formula One. 9 consecutive Grand Prix wins, and he's the only driver to have done that in one season. Mark Webber finishes in second place in his final Grand Prix. What a way to bow out of Formula One.
Fantastic career. It's been brilliant working with you. You can be proud of everything you've done, because we certainly are. Well done.
Obviously, Seb and I have had our challenges over time, but you know, it's easier to probably have a bit easier relationship with Fernando because he's on the same team. It's good to race you the last time. But to finish on the podium with those two guys, they have been the best of this generation. It still meant a lot to me, showing that I could still drive well at the end of my career, and got the timing right.
We didn't have the best relationship, but I can certainly say that I learned a lot from him. I learned to become a better driver due to his skills, which he has, and that's why I consider him as one of the drivers with the most talent we have on the grid.
They're both the same. They're both cut from the same cloth. They're both aggressive, competitive, fast, hungry drivers. That's why they've had the success that they have. And it's been uncomfortable and lumpy at times, but it's worked. And we've had, you know, almost 20 1-2 finishes between the two of them. We've won 4 Constructors' World Championships between the two of them. We've won nearly 50 Grand Prix, you know, with the two of them driving our cars. So it's worked.
Hugely important in life in any respect, and it's a great model to have, and that is make sure you give it up, not that it gives you up. Mark gave up Formula One, not the other way around. He will always feel supreme because of that.
I think that Mark's had a great Formula One career. He just was unlucky to come up against a phenomenon, you know, the guy that might rewrite the history books.
Best driver raced against in F1, it's probably between Seb and Fernando. Fernando over 2 hours is a handful. You know, he is a handful. There's no question about that. Over one lap, I think that he's not with Seb. But on Sundays, you know, between those two, I think it's very, very tight.
I don't know, time will tell us, I think. When he will have a car like the others, if he wins, he will have a great recognition, and he will be one of the legends in Formula One. When one day he has a car like the others and he's 4th, 5th, 7th, these 4 titles will be bad news for him, because people will take these 4 titles even in a worse manner than what they are doing now. So there are interesting times for Sebastian coming.
For sure, there will be always some people thinking that you have to do this and you have to do that. I don't know, I think you can think about this a lot. In the end of the day, I think we don't have to prove anything. I think we've proven enough.
Is Seb now one of the all-time greats?
He has to be. He has to be. At 26 years of age, he's won 4 world championships. There's only, 3 other drivers in the history of the sport in over 60 years that have achieved that. He's gone up against some fantastic drivers in Fernando, in Lewis, in Kimi, and Mark Webber, and Jenson Button. You know, it's a quality grid that he's up against. And he's delivered. And he delivers time and time again. And it's easy to say, yeah, he's got the best car. But we run 2 cars. You know, and one car won 13 races. And the other driver's no idiot. You know, he's a very, very fast racing driver, Mark Webber, and it'd be easy to underestimate how good Mark actually is. And I think Sebastian this year has just, again, come of age. And I think what we've witnessed this year is actually something very, very special.
I think it was incredible. And you know how hard it is to win a Grand Prix, to win 9 consecutively. is just phenomenal, and it defies logic in many respects. So yes, it was superhuman effort from Sebastian. I think he would see that that was his best season ever.
And he gets very emotional. We're hearing him have a love affair with his team, seemingly over team radio.
We have to remember these days. We have to remember these days. There's no guarantee that they will last forever. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you. I love you.
The doubters will just see that as annoying. But actually, if you just step back for a moment and try and imagine yourself in that position, you find yourself in a great car, you find yourself with heaps of talent, and you find yourself breaking records that the sport in all its history has never seen the likes before. Why would you not have those outcries of emotion? Why would you not want to say to people, this is incredible, enjoy this moment?
Nobody has ever done what you've just done in the history of the sport. Man, I'm proud.
So that's it for 2013. I shall be seeing you guys again in Australia mid-March. But of course, it's the last time that we've heard the sound of that special V8.
Built with incredible precision, it has 8 cylinders, the ultimate in speed, in engineering. This engine has been fantastically successful.
The engine is very much the heart of the racing car.
Push like it. Come on, boy. Okay, Max, let's go get him, dude.
What the hell happened on that start? I'm pushing, man, I'm pushing. We want to fight, we want to fight.
Yes, we do, yes, fight. People have been having punctures.
Watch out for exit curves.
Phenomenale, phenomenale.
Thank you, fantastic, Ricky.
Wow.
Excellent job.
That is absolutely appalling. Again, Chilton. What an idiot.
Multi-map 2-1.
This is silly, sir. Come on.
Multi-21, sir.
Okay, Mark, he was told.
What the hell are you doing?
Nico, you have to give the place back to Perez. What? Kimi, get out of the way.
Don't shout. I feel like I've been in a washing machine. These tires are not holding together very well. I think I damaged something more in the car. What is wrong with this car? I'm on fire, mate. I'm on fire.
Nico, please drop back, leave a gap.
Remember this one.
Sebastian, you know the score. Don't take any risks. You're not going to get 4 points for that.
What satisfaction.
Brilliant job, Lewis.
I can't believe it. Wicked.
Absolutely superb.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You've done it in style. You're a 4-time world champion.
I love you guys. I love you. Thank you.